next session of the evening that is going to be talking about turning waste into resource, how recycling can drive sustainability. Now, for this session, I am absolutely privileged to be introducing our speakers. First up, we have Mr. Prassann Daphal, CEO of Recyclekaro, who is revolutionizing e-waste and battery recycling in India, tackling unregulated waste management with innovative solutions. Everyone, can we all give him a hand, please? Our second speaker for the session, Mr. Prassann, Brand Marketing Head for India at Paca Limited. Thank you. And once again, I request Ms. Vidhi to join us for moderating the session. Everyone, can we all give it up for our moderator as well?
Thank you so much again. So at Green Vision Conclave, we're talking about different approaches that are required to tackle climate challenges. And in this session now, we're clearly talking about how to turn waste into resource. And what you both gentlemen are doing is completely different, but something which is absolutely helping us create a much more greener, cleaner planet. Let me start with Mr. Prassann, who is the CEO of Recyclekaro. It is an absolutely innovative company which is at the forefront of waste management and resource recovery. Now, to explain it in simple terms, जो आप e-waste use करते हैं, उनको आप recycle करते हैं. और जो आप e-waste सोचते हैं कि अब आपके काम का नहीं है, आप उसे फेंक देते हैं, वो environment को कितना खराब करता है, उस बारे में नहीं सोचते हैं. Mr. Prassann's thinking about it, and he's created a huge plant and working towards it. And now from Paca, what you do is create something absolutely fantastic. I have written this down, so I do not say the wrong thing. So your company is focused on creating an absolutely eco-friendly and sustainable packaging, and you completely focus on compostable packaging. So हम जो plates use करते हैं, the tableware that we use, that is completely compostable. So I will want to talk about both the companies and how you plan to, what is your inspiration? I want to start with you, Recyclekaro, Mr. Prassann. What was the inspiration behind the company?
Thank you for having me here. So the inspiration behind this Recyclekaro company, we actually wanted to start a clean tech company. We started with paper recycling, and straight out of college, we thought there is a lot of paper which is not used in the right way, and we need to recycle. So we started doing awareness sessions around gated communities and started collecting the papers from households, actually. So that's how Recyclekaro was born, and we started. Similar services we started giving to B2B companies like Accenture, Capgemini, DHL, Genpact. And while doing this, we found there is a lot of electronic waste is also generated, like end-of-the-life equipment. Now we see every 4 to 5 years IT equipments or the gadgets, they get end-of-the-life and no support is provided for them. So these gadgets were largely becoming categorized into the electronic waste. And there was no one who was actually recycling it in a proper manner, because in India, since morning we had different sessions where we spoke about critical metals, what is going to happen to the batteries which we are using today in the EV vehicles. We are talking about the EV boom, and 30% of the electric vehicles getting to be used by 2030 for the passenger vehicles. So looking at all these challenges, we thought of starting a electronic waste recycling company. So that's how we started. And we started extracting all the precious metals out of the electronic waste. So for example, your mobile PCB, it has precious metals like gold, silver, platinum, palladium. These are like, when you go for a mining, there are a lot of resources which are used to get a pure metal. But looking at the consumer market in India, we have so huge consumer market, and the gadgets which are used are in a large volume. So these all gadgets, what is happening to them? So instead of taking them to the landfills or throwing them away, we are recycling it and we are extracting the metals back, giving it back to the manufacturers so that they can be reused into the manufacturing process. Well, along with this, like lithium-ion batteries, in India, if you ask me 5 years back, there was no one who was recycling lithium-ion batteries. Everything was getting dumped in the landfills. There were many fire incidents you must have heard. Landfill mein aag lag gaya. So major reason were these lithium-ion batteries. So in order to recycle them, we again like started doing R&D around it, how we can recycle in India. We found that a lithium-ion battery has different metals like lithium, cobalt, nickel, manganese. These all metals we have to mine, and everything is getting imported in India. While these lithium-ion batteries, if you want to recycle in a proper way, you need to have a proper like safely disposal process or the recycling process, which was not there. Most of the recyclers were shredding the batteries. In the shredding process, like copper, aluminum, plastic, it is separated. Whatever remains is the black mass. So this black mass or the black powder, it has all the critical metals in it, like lithium, nickel, manganese, cobalt. And this black mass was getting exported to countries like Korea, Japan, China, where they have the expertise into extraction of these metals. So in order to keep this, like I mentioned, we have a large consumer database and electronic gadgets are largely used in India. So in order to keep this metal in-house, we need more recyclers who will be extracting all these metals in India itself, so that these metals can be reused back into the manufacturing of the battery cells.
So when we're talking about lithium-ion batteries, यहाँ का जो young audience है, जो अभी गर्दन झुकाए अपने फ़ोन को देख रहा है, आपके इस फ़ोन में ही वो बैटरी का यूज़ होता है. और ये जो हम फैशन ट्रेंड के साथ फ़ोन्स बदलते रहते हैं, I don't think any of us think what happens to the phone. आप उस फ़ोन को अपनी ड्रॉर में फेंक देंगे और आफ्टर अ पॉइंट आप उसको डस्टबिन में फेंक देंगे. बट यू डोंट रियलाइज हाउ हार्मफुल दैट इज़ फॉर द इन्वायरमेंट. वो क्या सही तरीका है? जो फ़ोन आप यूज़ नहीं कर रहे हैं, अब उसकी बैटरी ख़राब हो रही है, उसे कैसे डिस्पोज करना चाहिए? व्हाट इज़ द राइट वे?
So, like today, there are a lot of exchange programs which are followed by the e-commerce companies where you give away your old phone and exchange it. So whatever the non-working phones are there, they are collected, segregated by the service centers, and they reach out to the recyclers to collect them. While there are many people like there are outdated phones which must be lying at your home, electronic gadgets. There must be like n number of headphones lying around. So that all have copper, which is a valuable metal, and the demand of copper as well as these metals is increasing day by day. While about the electric vehicles itself, because of the need of the hour, like electric vehicles are coming on road, we will need more metals to manufacture and support this sustainability goal. And in order to use it like with the locally available resources, which we call it urban mining. So we have to do more urban mining in order to use whatever we have purchased already in India. So you can deposit those at the collection point, different collection points we have, as well as you can deposit the waste at the service centers. So they segregate it and help to reach out to the recycler for recycling these gadgets.
तो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी सिर्फ बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस की नहीं है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इंडिविजुअल लेवल पर भी हमको लेनी पड़ेगी. फॉर इफ यू वांट टू बिल्ड अ ग्रीनर सस्टेनेबल टुमारो, वी ऑल हैव टू टेक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. नाउ आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट पैका. सो द वर्क दैट यू डू, दैट इज़ वेरी इंस्पायरिंग. आप शुगर केन वेस्ट को यूज़ करके टेबल वेयर बना रहे हैं, पैकेजिंग मटेरियल बना रहे हैं. नाउ वेयर डिड दैट आइडिया कम फ्रॉम? बिकॉज आपको उसको रिसाइकल नहीं करना है, आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, वो तो डायरेक्टली कंपोस्टेबल मटेरियल है. वेयर डिड दैट आइडिया कम फ्रॉम फॉर पैका?
Right. So PACA started, way back in 1981 by K.K. Junjunwala, who's the founder of the company. He's no more here. So the idea was to make a low grammage paper which can be used. And back then it was called Yash Papers Limited. Luckily we were in Ayodhya, in UP. And there was abundance of sugarcane waste, which was there coming from the nearby sugar mills, which are situated there. So the idea, just landed up there. No one knew about sustainability. No, it
Back
was
then
not
no
a
one was talking about
it was not a buzzword, which it is right now. But the focus shifted from that low grammage paper to food packaging specifically. Back in 2011-2012 by Ved Krishna, who's KK's son. So he actually thought that the waste that is produced, and majority of it comes from food packaging, whether it is the disposables that you are eating food in, or whether the potato chips bags that you are eating from. So that was the major root of the origin of this idea. Like Ripudaman also said that, he saw that there is a lot of waste around and we should do something about it. So the idea of Paka came into being. Paka is, packaging with a soul. And the whole idea was that we should do something about the majority of the waste which is getting produced. So the company focused on 3 aspects of food packaging. So one was food wrap and carry, which is again bagasse-based paper. So the agri-residue of sugarcane is called bagasse. And majority of the business that we do is food carry and food wrap based paper. The second one is the tableware which is used, the plates, bowls, and containers that you use while you are eating at Haldiram's or while you are eating at Bikaner Wala. These are the, this was the second focus, and then we launched the brand Chuck back in 2017. So that we can get reduce this waste which is coming into stream, and the majority of which is the multi-layered plastics which are used right now in potato chips bags, chocolate wrappers, and all. So this is multi-layers packaging. It's very difficult to recycle, and I think Prassann will agree with me. So we have also come up with fully compostable multi-layered packaging which can be used in food packaging. So the whole idea and the whole purpose of Paka's existence is a cleaner planet, right? So we say cleaner and not greener planet. So because first we have to become clean, and then greenery will follow. So that was the origin of this idea.
So as a brand, are you more focused on cafes and restaurants, or are you also focused on individuals? Is there a change in consumer preference that you've seen?
Right. So we want to achieve impact at scale, right? And it cannot be only, by focusing on a certain sectors of the industry. Our major focus is the large-scale consumers, right? So large-scale consumers or customers for us are these restaurants. Our major customer base is restaurants like these. But we are also available on, every modern trade store or quick commerce, Blinkit, Swiggy, Instamart, whoever is using
so
that.
So next time someone's throwing a party, they can find your brands and probably order tableware, which is directly compostable, so they don't have to, think about it.
Yeah, and the best part about it is that it does not create waste. The whole idea is to have a product which is 100% compostable, and it's not only industrial compostable; it's home compostable. So if you are using compost at home, so you can just throw it in, and it'll turn into compost within 180 days. Even if it lands up in a landfill, it will not pollute and it will degrade with time, more time, but it will degrade. So that's the whole idea.
So Recyclekaro as a company, I'm sure आप भी focus organizations पर ज़्यादा करते होंगे. Consumers probably is not the biggest percentage of creating this kind of garbage, but industries, companies have to get involved. Are there challenges that you see at an organizational level when it comes to recycling of e-waste?
So there are 2 things where the e-waste goes through. Like first stage is refurbishing. Like whatever e-waste we pick up, if we can make a usable electronics out of it, or repairing few parts or assembling few parts, it should be refurbished or reused. In case of batteries also, like any EV vehicle battery, when you test the cells, almost 20-25%. With our experience, we found that those are good working cells, which can be used for secondary usage, like if you want to use it in energy storage devices and all. So those all things need to be considered before getting into recycling part. And the second stage is the recycling, where the electronics is non-usable, or it has a scrap. It is a scrap and you cannot refurbish or not use it. Well, the challenges, if you ask me here, like in European countries, like we discuss around, like people pay to recycle. Like if they want to recycle the waste, they will have to pay. While in India, we have to pay to get the e-waste and then recycle. So for that, there are many supporting policies which government has came up, which will help recyclers to sustain in whatever they are doing. Because we work on very thin margins, and like the policy like EPR, extended producer responsibility, where producers are made responsible for recycling their electronics. For example, if a producer is, let's say in case of Samsung, he is selling 100 laptops in a year, he has to recycle 60 laptops. So that's a responsibility of Samsung to recycle it. Now, as a electronics manufacturer, he is not a recycler. So, and even the end electronics is not reaching directly to him for recycling. So government has came up with an online portal, which is a CPCB EPR portal, both for electronic waste, plastic waste, battery waste. And on that, producers and recyclers both can get registered. And producers will have visibility like who is the recycler who is recycling the e-waste, who is the recycler who is recycling the battery waste. And based on that recycling, they can buy EPR credits from the recyclers. So this completes the responsibility of the producer as well as the waste, instead of going into dumping yard or creating more awareness among people, that waste will come directly to recycler and he can generate the EPR credits on the same portal.
जैसे गवर्नमेंट ने EPR इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, वैसे ही आई थिंक इंडिविजुअल लेवल पर भी एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए. नेक्स्ट टाइम somebody buys a phone, they have to sign a disclaimer that I will ensure that I dispose it properly, I will ensure that it goes to the right place.
Right, that will help.
हाँ, वो गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी आनी चाहिए शायद. So from a packer point of view, from food products, आपका plan, as in what is your next plan, or how do you plan to make it bigger when it comes to creating a much more bigger impact when it comes to creating a greener planet?
Right. So like I mentioned, majority of the waste comes from multi-layered packaging. So we have launched, in fact, our flexible packaging product, which is also 100% compostable, and is recyclable also in the paper stream. So this is one major impact that we plan to do. In addition to expanding our capacity, right now there is about 4 million tons of plastic waste which is generated in India. We are right now doing only 50,000 tons per year, right? So we plan to expand our capacity in Ayodhya, where we are based, and also expanding to other markets, because we are not only limited to India, we are also planning to go beyond, and we are extending to Gulf countries and also in the US. So we are also setting the world's largest regenerative packaging company in Guatemala, wherein it will be even bigger operation that we are doing in India to serve to the US and the Americas market. So that's on the consumer side, but the overall aim is that, like everyone has said, that everyone should be aware of the fact that you do not create waste, and you use a substrate that is cleaner. We cannot change our habits, right? Everyone is using phone, the world is progressing, AI is coming, all those things will keep happening. So changing behaviors is different, but changing the substrate that you are using is, kind of the philosophy that we go by.
So that one tip that you would want to give everybody, since we're out of time, one tip that you would want to give everybody, how can we help in creating or turning waste into resources? What is that one thing everyone should do? Yeah, so
like previous speakers have already said, use, compost at home, get a composter. It's nothing, it's just a bin, and you can throw in your wet waste into that composter, and you can generate compost out of it, which can be used in your home garden or some plants that you might be owning. That is the one tip. I'll not go to plastic bottles because that has already been said. And although the recycling rate in plastic is pretty great, it's like we recycle about 80% of our plastic bottles. But that is also not recycling, it's downcycling. So that eventually lands up in the landfill. Yeah, so that's the one tip that I want to give.
Thank you so much, Prassann. One tip from you for everybody that they have to remember, one thing that they should do to turn waste into resources.
Today, there are great minds who have spoken already about taking responsibility of your own waste. That I would say that whatever electronics you have, just take it out of your home. India's copper percentage will increase. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. You and your companies are creating a huge impact when it comes to creating a greener planet. Thank you so much for being a part of the Green Vision Conclave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pranay. Thank you, Prassann. Thanks a lot, Vidhi. Everyone, can we all give a hand to this insightful discussion that we've just had? Thank you. Can I now request Mr. Sunil Goswami to join us back on this stage, Head Videos ABP Network, to felicitate our speakers. Everyone, come on, can I hear it? Once again, can we all put our hands? All right.